Hello viewers, you're welcome to today's episode of Mathematics Tutorials on Facebook. My name is Eric. For the purpose of gratitude and recognition, may I take this opportunity to thank and say hello to my special viewers in the name of Kofi Chibua, Charles Pinto, Francis Pentia Babio, Evon K. Brobe, Sandra Nash, Patricia Matenge, and Lisa Merdinez. Thank you very much. Now, our topic is Pythagorean theorem. We are looking at the Pythagoras theorem. So for the purpose or for the reason that our video won't be too long, I divided this into two lessons, part 1 and part 2. Now in part 1, we saw the Pythagoras theorem formula, and we said it is used in finding the third side of a right angle triangle when two sides are already known. Alright, so we saw a question in the earlier video, and the question says we want to solve the question in this video applying Pythagoras theorem. Now, the question stated that two cars left a station S. Alright, so two cars left a station at the same time. So let's take point S to be the station. So two cars left the station. One headed north, so this is north, and then the other headed south. So the other was headed south. The other headed south. Then they said that at a point, the two cars were 100 miles apart. So this is it. They were 100 miles apart from each other. So let's put 100 here. And then they said that the car headed north has done 20 miles further than the one traveling south. So if that is the case, then let's put here 20 plus. Then let's say that the distance that is traveled by the car headed south to be x. All right. Then the distance covered by the car headed north will be written in relation to the distance traveled by the car headed south. So that will be 20 plus x. All right. So the square of this plus the square of this should give us the square of the distance that they are apart from each other. So let's put here solution. And then we say that let the distance covered by the car headed south be x, and that of the car headed north be x plus 20, or 20 miles plus x, which is the distance covered by the car headed south. All right. So now we are saying that using Pythagoras theorem. So using Pythagoras theorem, what we shall say is that the distance covered by the car headed south, the square of it, plus the square of the distance covered by the car headed north, that is 20 plus x squared, should be equal to 100 squared. All right. So now what we shall do here is that we shall have s squared plus, when we expand this bracket, we shall have 20 plus x multiplying 20 plus x to be equal to 100 squared is the same as 10,000, that is 100 by 100. That will give us 10,000, so we shall have s squared plus, when we multiply this by this 20 times 20, we shall have 400 plus, when we multiply 20 by when we multiply x by 20, we shall get 20x, plus when we multiply 20 by x, we shall get 20x, plus when we multiply x by x, we shall get x squared. So we shall have x squared, and this will be equal to 10,000. And so what we shall have here is that we can add this and this. S squared plus x squared will give us 2x squared, plus 20x plus 20x will also give us 40x, and then plus our 400. We can bring 10,000 here, it will cross the equal sign, everything will be equal to 0. So we shall have 2x squared plus 40x. Here there will be minus. So 10,000 minus 400 will give us 9,000, negative 9,600. So that is what we have. Let's make use of this part of the board. So now we have 2x squared plus 40x, then minus 9,600 is equal to 0. So let's divide through by 2 to reduce this equation. So when we divide through by 2, we shall have x squared plus 20x, then minus 96 divided by 2 is 48. We put our 2 zeros there. This is equal to 0. Alright, so this is what we have. This is giving us a quadratic trinomial. We want to solve it. So two numbers we add, we need factors to solve it, and the factors are, the numbers are two numbers we add or subtract, we shall get 20. We multiply those two numbers, we shall get negative 4,800. What two numbers are we thinking about? Now what we shall do is forget about the zeros. So we have 2 and 48. Now which two numbers are we going to subtract and get, or add and get 2, and when we multiply them we get negative 48? I think the numbers are 8 and 6 minus 6. So 8 minus 6 will give us, so let's put zeros here. So that means that 8 minus 6 will give us what? 2. Put a 0, that's 20. 8 times negative 6 will give us negative 48. Then we put our 2 zeros, that will give us negative 4,800. So the two numbers we are thinking about are negative 60 and positive 80. So we have x plus 80, and then we have x minus 60. So here, taking each bracket and equating it to 0, we shall have this is equal to 0, or we have x minus 60 to be equal to 0, and so we shall have x is equal to negative 80, or x is equal to 60. And so it means that the car headed south has traveled 60 miles, and the car headed north has traveled 60 plus 20 will give us 80 miles. Because distance cannot actually be measured in negative. Distance cannot be expressed in negative figure. So we don't have a negative distance. So we shall forget about the negative, or we shall discard or leave or do away with the negative distance and take the positive distance of 60. So it means the car headed, therefore the car headed south has traveled 60 miles, and the car headed north has traveled 20 plus 60 miles, that is 80 miles. On that note, thank you very much for being part of this special tutorials. See you next time. Bye bye.